Hey homeberries, I have another serious video tonight. This has been on my mind for a few days. I know in the grand scheme of things it may not seem that important, but there's just been something on my mind. To give some background, ever since I was little I've had issues with headaches. Sometimes headaches with nausea too. When I was little, I used to end up vomiting a lot of the time when I had headaches. Thankfully, it's not as bad as it used to, but still there are a couple times I've had to go to urgent care because the headaches and vomiting were intense. They wrote cephalgia with nausea. It's like, oh, that sounds fancy, and it's just the way of saying headache with nausea. Medical speak makes everything sound fancier than it is. I don't want to say they incapacitate me, because I'm just reluctant to say it's that bad, but it makes it hard to do a lot of things. Like, I can't do a lot of drawing or be on the computer or much of anything involving a screen because it just aggravates it. You might think, well, don't you have medicine? When I was little, the medicine I took wouldn't help at all. Thank God over the years I have found some remedies. I have some remedies, and if I need to, if it's really bad and isn't going away, I can take a leave. Thankfully that helps, as well as other things like sleep, tea tree oil sometimes, hot sauce, as strange as that sounds. So there are things that work. I'm not going to make a big thing about my headaches, because there are people who have headaches a lot worse than I do. I should note, I also think it's hereditary, because both my parents told me that they used to have migraines. Migraines, they last for days. So what I get, it's possible they're migraines, but as best we can tell, they're sinus headaches, and that's why I'm talking about my headaches in the first place. I want to bring up this. Over the years, I figured out that a lot of times my headaches are caused by breathing cold air. So because of this, I started wearing a mask in cold months, cold weather. So that way I can prevent a lot of the headaches. It doesn't always work, but it helps a lot of the time. At one time, I went out without a mask in the cold, and I got a headache that just knocked me out for the rest of the day. So I wear masks about like this to prevent sinus headaches. I also wear them, I have to mention this because this is going to bother me. Also, drinking water may help prevent headaches. And also sometimes caffeine, but it depends. There's a balance. You drink too much caffeine and that'll make your headache worse, so it's a fine balancing act, like some sort of chemist, like, how much? Okay, with that interruption, I also wear masks when dealing with things involving dust and dirt, like cleaning around the house, mowing the lawn, things like that, because I've also learned that if I inhale a lot of dust and such, it'll leave me with cold-like symptoms that take a few days to clear up. Like, I work with dust and such without a mask, and then a couple days later I get a sore throat and nasal problems that take a while to clear up. I also wear the mask when pumping gas or passing through the pesticide aisle in the home improvement stores and things like that, or sometimes I do, because that stuff is not noxious. That's what I wanted to talk about wearing masks. There are other people who wear masks for health reasons, like they have allergies, or they have a compromised immune system. Some of you say, well, compromise, I thought compromise was a good thing. It depends. It can mean you set aside your selfishness and work with someone to reach an agreement that's beneficial for everybody. But there's a negative definition of compromise too. It can mean something is more likely to become contaminated, or sometimes it can mean a person is sold out. So when we say someone has a compromised immune system, it means it's become damaged and weakened somehow, so the person is more likely to get sick than people without compromised immune systems. You see people in hospitals, they wear masks or have oxygen because otherwise they can get sick. Also, a lot of times you'll see nurses and some visitors wear masks because they may have germs that could make the patient sick. So it's not that they're trying to avoid getting sick themselves, they're trying to prevent other people from getting sick. You may think, well, what's the point in talking about this? It's because recently there have been people who are insulting people for wearing masks for health reasons. You might think, oh, well, that's ridiculous. There's this virus going around, so a lot of people are wearing masks. Why would they make fun of people wearing masks? Sadly, it's because there's a virus that they're making fun of people wearing masks. I've seen people post articles and have heard people say, oh, well, if someone wears a mask, it means they're a paranoid loser and they're stupid, and I'm so much better than they are. My aunt and I were shopping at a Walmart recently, and I hear you go ahead and make the Walmart. Yeah, you do what you want to do. And there were women talking, saying, oh, people are paranoid. I've seen people wearing masks. People are panicking. I wanted to go over and tell them, just because someone wears a mask doesn't mean that they're paranoid or people wear masks for a lot of reasons, okay? The fact that a shy introvert like me wanted to go over and say something should show how much I feel about this. Oh, and you know what makes it even... Let me go back a little. There are these articles saying, oh, well, you're stupid if you wear a mask. First off, supposedly they try to pass it off as, oh, we're just trying to inform people. Because they say, oh, for the best benefits, you should be wearing a mask rated N95. That's the best for keeping away germs, because masks like these won't do the best job. Don't you think they could have conveyed that information without looking down their noses at people and acting superior and ignorant and not even trying to... They just make assumptions. Like, it didn't occur to these people that there are other reasons people wear masks. I have a box of these that I got a couple years ago because I use the masks regularly. I know some of you might be who have seen my face in better light, might think, wait, is that why your face is red? I've heard a couple people think that's why it is. Other people have said, or at least someone else I spoke to said, oh, I think it's rosacea, here's a pamphlet. So the leading theories are that it's either rosacea or a latex allergy. But I would rather have, if it is an allergy, I would rather have skin like this than have a headache that knocks me out for the rest of the day, or has the potential to do that. Oh, here's what I was getting to. You know what makes this even worse? Them saying, oh, well, only paranoid people wear masks. The health officials have announced that you should wear masks to limit the spread of the virus. So they're mocking something that's now been officially advised by the health authorities. That would be like mocking people for washing their hands or using hand sanitizer, or to go a different topic, for buying food so their pantry is full in case they're not able to get out. It's irritating that they would mock people and belittle people. Why would you make that the person, the type of person you choose to demean and to mock and to belittle to make yourself feel better? How could you look at people who are just trying to keep themselves safe and their families safe, or to prevent people from getting sick? Because that's something else I forgot earlier. Some people wear masks. Well, I did touch on it, though. Some people wear masks to try to stop people from getting sick. One time I think it was a sore throat or maybe a cold, maybe both. And I wore a mask out because I didn't want anyone to catch my cold. It was funny, I was at church with my mask because it was on a Sunday. I joked to one of my friends, I'm unclean! Unclean! And he laughed, so... So if you want to... Why not say something about the people buying out the masks and then selling them at high prices, capitalizing on people's fears? Why not go after the people buying up all the toilet paper and soup and whatever so no one else can have any? as far as this thing is concerned, the outbreak and everything that's going on, I'm in the middle. I don't like extremes on either side. On one hand, you have the people, oh, this isn't serious. It's serious. People have died. How do you see reports of deaths and go, oh, I don't think it's that well, you're wrong. You thought wrong. Then on the other hand, there are people panicking, acting like it's the end of the world and buying up all the supplies. Panicking doesn't help anybody. I know I'm not the first to say that. Earlier today, my friend Tristan, aka Soul Studios, aka Good Tales Doll, sent me a link, says, oh, you need to watch Markiplier's latest video. So I watched his video about the coronavirus, and I said, may the Lord bless him for putting out this video, because he said exactly what needed to be said. It's what people need right now, so good on him. I always do have trouble segueing, don't I? But you can tell my irritation with this, not just for me, but there are so many people who wear masks. Even if you are wearing a mask because you're worried, that's still nothing to be demeaned. You're just trying to stay healthy and stop this from spreading, which is now, like I said, what the officials are saying to do. So no matter the reason you wear a mask, whether it's for health reasons or because of, let me phrase it differently, whether you just now started wearing a mask because of this pandemic, or you wore one before, whether for health reasons, or maybe you just like to wear masks, nothing wrong with that. You should not be demeaned for that. You should not be labeled stupid or ignorant or paranoid or cowardly, anything like that because of that. You should not be looked down on because of that. You may say, oh, is this even that big of an issue? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. But this was just on my mind, and hopefully I've gotten people started thinking. Don't judge people or make assumptions about them. I learned that early in my childhood. Something may not turn out to be how it looks. There are so many examples. You see a person who looks shady. Maybe they really are shady, or maybe they're a nice person. You see someone who looks like a nice person. Maybe they really are a nice person. Maybe they're a shady person. You can't make assumptions one way or the other. It got me thinking about this book I used to read pretty frequently from my childhood. It was called something like Anteater Solves a Mystery. There was an anteater, and so they called her Anteater or Aunt Eater, however you pronounce it. She saw this shady guy hanging around her neighbor's house, like he had a scarf, even though it was not the time of year for scarves. So she decided to go over and investigate, and the guy in the scarf was her neighbor's cousin or brother or whatever, and he was wearing the scarf because he had a sore throat and was trying to keep his throat warm or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's another example. Well, I'd say I've made my point clear. I'm sure that after I turn off the video, I'll think of something else I wanted to say, but you know, that's what the description is for, right? So I have some other videos planned, things that are more positive. Excuse me. So just like I said, don't judge people for wearing masks, because you don't know what their story is. We're just trying to stay healthy. And just be kind to people and respectful. Also, don't buy up all the toilet paper and soup and whatnot. Leave some for other people, okay? So that's it. Take care, everybody. Have a blessed night.